Washington's clear-thinking headquarters. The Morning Majority, 5 to 9 on 630 WMAL.
7:07 on WMAL on a stormy Thursday morning here in the nation's capital. It can be posted on the tornado activity. Former UN Ambassador John Bolton coming up 1 hour from now. We'll get into the shuffle in the national security team, the Obama administration, also the latest on Libya, what to do in Syria with John Bolton. That's 1 hour from now. Lanny Davis joins us about half hour from now. We'll get into the birther debate with Lanny for sure. And Lanny has a new client, Dan Snyder, so we'll talk to him about that in about 30 minutes. But now let's head over to jolly old England, where they're getting ready for this royal wedding. Wendy Rieger of Channel 4 joins us again. Wendy, good morning, good afternoon. They're actually going to go through with this thing, huh? What's the... Yeah, what's...
they better. They better, or I'm going to smack them all for what they've put us all through here. They better get down that aisle.
So what's the feeling? Are people super excited, or they just want to get it over with now?
Well, no, I think some people in the media just want to get this over with, but I think the public is really. I think finally today. Before we were just everybody was just massing here, and I think it was all about the people who were just gathering. Now we were being reminded of why we gathered to begin with, because it now looks like, oh yeah, that's right, we're here for a wedding, which is exciting. You were just doing the headlines. We do have a bit of news here today. Buckingham Palace did withdraw the invitation to Syria's ambassador.
Really?
He was invited. That created a ton of uproar here in the media because of all the bloodshed over there. And finally, this morning, under pressure, Buckingham Palace withdrew his invitation.
Are they going to issue an invitation for you to take the place of the Syrian ambassador?
You know, as much as I think they should, I think it would really right a lot of wrongs. I don't think I'm in the hierarchy, the next in line.
Right.
The other thing that happened today, a little bit of news, is that they did yet another rehearsal with Kate, her sister Pippa, and Prince Harry, but they didn't. William wasn't there. But, you know, he went out and played football at 10:30 last night.
Oh, really?
He rode his bike to a football field, played some soccer, and then rode his bike home, which I think is a good sign. I think it shows that he's relaxed and you know, very, again, shows how normal he is.
What did you say Kate's sister's name was? Pippa?
Pippa, yeah. I think that's Philippa. It's short for Philippa.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard that one. Now,
yeah. Well, you know, Wendy is short for Gwendolyn.
Yes.
Or Guinevere. Yeah.
I heard that there was that there are some things that Kate has been asking William to do. Do we know exactly what?
Yeah. Well, this is kind of my favorite, but I don't. It was in the Sun, so you don't at the tab, so you don't know whether it's true or not. But anyway, she asked him to get a spray tan, a waxing, and a manicure and a pedicure.
Really?
And apparently, he allegedly said no to the spray tan because that would be so wrong.
Yeah.
And the waxing, it's like the guy's already losing his hair. Don't wax him.
Yeah.
That's like the same qualifications for co-hosting here, right?
And so, or whatever. I don't even want to think about that. And he said he would get a manicure for the close-ups of the ring going on his finger. That was, again, just, reported, so who knows. The other kind of kerfuffle going on here is that Pippa, the maid of honor, they're doing a disco reception tomorrow night after the Queen's brunch for their reception in the evening at Buckingham Palace, and she is, as a party planner, works for her parents' company. They want it to be a disco, so she is hanging mirror disco balls in the throne room of Buckingham Palace, and that apparently got palace officials all upset, and William and Kate had to intervene and say, back off, we're doing a disco theme, it'll be fine. The monarchy will not crumble.
Is Elton John performing? What's the music entertainment for the festivities?
I can't imagine. I don't know if he is going to perform, but I would imagine that if asked, he would. Today we got I know he's not performing in the wedding, but today we got the official program of the wedding and a new picture of them taken by Mario Testino, who is the photographer. It's a beautiful black and white photo, who did that beautiful photography book of Diana. He was her favorite photographer. So they have a new picture released today in their program, which was where we see their vows and who's going to speak. And they are opening with a hymn that was played at the closing of Diana's funeral. So there's a lot of sort of overt homages to Diana, which I think is lovely and appears to be quite, I think people will be quite touched by that.
All right. I want to ask you, I want to play a soundbite for you. This is John Burns, who is the London bureau chief of the New York Times. He was on MSNBC this week on Morning Joe, and he was talking about the difference between this marriage and Princess Diana and Prince Charles, and why that marriage didn't go well, and why this marriage might go better. Take a listen. I want to get your comment on it and see if they're talking about this in London.
I think much of the unhappiness that ensued after that marriage had to do with the pressure there was on Charles to marry an innocent girl. I think that was a huge mistake. It's not being repeated now.
All right, so I guess what he's saying is that Kate's a little more loose, to use the kind word. Is that what people are talking about over there?
No, actually, people aren't talking about that. I think what because this is the first I've heard. I think what he's saying is that we all know Charles needed a virgin, and that was Diana. And Kate's been living with Prince William. I think, my goodness, the problem with the Charles-Diana marriage.
Right.
You could write volumes on what was the problem with that from the first 5 minutes. So I think the fact that he's marrying a woman who is 29, she's the oldest royal bride in history, and she's a woman who's sophisticated and self-assured and grounded. Something that at the time for 19, 20-year-old Diana, that just wasn't the case. She was quite, I think, a little bit sheltered. And you now look back at those old interviews when they were first engaged,
right,
and you think, how come we didn't notice it back then? I think we were so dazzled that he was getting married to this woman we'd never heard of before that you look at it now and think, oh, what a mismatched couple that was.
Yeah, it was strange. It was definitely strange.
Yeah.
All right. I know London loves a good tabloid story, as you mentioned, The Sun, and they like to go back and forth with what's going on with the media. Is the birther issue our president, President Obama, going out yesterday with a long-form birth certificate and the back and forth with Donald Trump, is that making any waves overseas in London?
No, they mention it because we're watching between Sky, CNN International, BBC. Because you're kind of swinging around to see who's doing what. It's on, but believe me, unless Obama and Trump are camped out in front of Buckingham or Westminster, no one cares.
Right.
No, unless they have a prime location, no one cares.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, have you enjoyed your time?
You sound disappointed.
Well, I just thought that. No, I'm not disappointed at all.
It's a wedding.
Have you enjoyed
Get in the spirit.
Have you enjoyed your time over there?
Yeah, it's really been a blast, and my cameraman Sean Casey and I we're just kind of joined at the hips. I'm sure he's sick of me by now, but we've had a good time because every day we file between 4 in the morning, our time here, between 4 in the morning and 7, because we're filing for the 11 o'clock shows in the East Coast, and then we have to stay for all across the country to the West Coast. So at 7 o'clock in the morning, when we finish up and we're frozen, it's really cold here at night, and we're out in this kind of platform at Trafalgar Square, and we just look at each other and think, God, what's the story going to be today? We don't know. And we just hit the streets after breakfast, and we have always stumbled upon these incredible characters, and the place is really like being at a carnival. So it's actually been really, and at the end of the day, we're like, wow, that turned out really well. That was fun. And but to be honest, I'm sitting on the grass outside of Buckingham Palace right now thinking, God, what are we going to do today?
That's pretty cool.
What's it going to be today?
Well, if it's like a carnival, maybe it's a good place for Trump to show up then.
He would blend right in.
All right, Wendy. Well, thank you. I know you're up late with Jim and Doreen, and we appreciate you taking time to be on WMAL, and enjoy the wedding.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
Yeah. Good talking to you.
Wendy Rieger, Channel 4, live from London here on WMAL.